Thank you, Roger, for this introduction. Is the sound okay? Yes? Okay, so hello and welcome to this conference. Hello to you too watching this video, and welcome to the first episode of TheGrey Truth Summer School.
Darren Rochier is an artist active mainly in performance. He's also a curator and was elected in his hometown Vevey in Switzerland in 2011. The inspiration for Darren Rochier's artistic work comes precisely from this multiplicity of roles. After finishing art school in Switzerland, he meticulously applied his strategy to every artistic project, embodying an idiotic position where he untiringly tried to make good art, to be successful in the world of art with the same obstinacy that Buster Keaton could have had. This vision of the world, both making fun of himself and taking nothing for granted, was for him a form of activism. He thought that if everybody would have this attitude, our world would be a better place. In 2016, he did a classical political campaign with a traditional party, the Socialists, to become the mayor of his town. He didn't get elected. A few weeks later, Donald Trump did. Darren Rochier now lives in Belgium. He joined a political party and participated in the campaign for the last elections. He decided to try to become a YouTuber, a new role to complete his persona. A role where he would be able to experiment this form of activism on another scale outside the artistic institutions.
Thank you, Roger, for this introduction. Is the sound okay? Yes? Okay, so hello and welcome to this conference. Hello to you too watching this video, and welcome to the first episode of TheGrey Truth Summer School. Because yes, this conference is obviously filmed with this camera and the camera in the back. If you have a problem with the fact of having your back head filmed, you can come and tell me at the end of the conference, and I will add a little blurry zone behind your heads if it's a problem for you. Before really starting this conference, I just have to correct something. The title isn't I tried to become famous on YouTube, but the title is I will become famous on YouTube. It's way more relevant like that. So as Roger just mentioned, I'm currently becoming famous on YouTube. So I launched the channel Grey Truth in March of this year. And since then I've been posting one video a week. So I thought that in our context of the context of the graduation show of the KASK, it was maybe more interesting to talk about the reasons that made me realize that I had to become famous on YouTube. So I will become famous on YouTube is constituted of 10 5-minute conferences. And for you guys watching this introduction video, I will be posting each week during the summer one of these conferences. Like that, you will have every week a new episode of TheGrey Truth Summer School. So there's various forms of activism in history, and to be really clear, choosing a strategy doesn't mean that others aren't good or valid. It's a choice. You have to realize where will you be the most efficient. I mean, things are changing, are moving around, and if we want to be able to change the world, there's a lot of things to take into account. So in this conference, I'll try to explain to you why becoming famous sounds to be, for me, the most efficient strategy to change the world. This conference is then the result of a big research I've been doing here in KASK for 2 years. And this research really deeply changed my conception of art, my conception of politics, and my conception of digital culture. Personally, I want to defeat capitalism. I want to change the world. I want to change this system. So I tried to do so as an artist and a politician in Switzerland, but I believe now that my strategies were wrong, I mean, our world is changing, and I believe that, I mean, the left is losing everywhere, the right or the extreme right is rising all over the world, and we have to take responsibility. Before I had the same discourse that many political commentators, I was afraid of emotions in politics. I was afraid of social media. I was afraid of populism. I thought it was a threat towards our democracy. But now I believe that if political commentators are afraid, it's because these elements are a threat towards their authority. The authority of these people who have the power and the fact that they inform other people. And that they have allegedly more knowledge than ordinary people. And internet tends to erase these forms of power, and we shouldn't fight it, but find the most efficient way to use it. So these are the green thumbnails behind me, where I want to become, where I will become famous on YouTube, where we'll talk about this loss of authority and this pretentious position of traditional media, and this pretentious position that I believe got Donald Trump elected. So we have to fight back. As an artist, it's complicated because of two reasons. Contemporary art is quite disconnected from the enormous majorities of people's everyday life, but also the social role of contemporary art is to be critical. So if you are critical towards the system as an artist, you're just helping the social order of capitalism. And that's why I have this ambiguous position here, where I'm not only an artist, but I'm also a YouTuber. And part of this ambiguity is my will to become famous on internet. So I will try to justify all that with good conceptual reasons, but maybe it's just also an enormous narcissistic position denoting an enormous artist's ego trip. So these are the red thumbnails behind me, why I had to leave the art world and not be only an artist. The reason that pushed me to start this whole project. But to become famous on YouTube, there's various strategies you have to adopt, and so I went through a lot of literature about digital media to understand how to become famous on YouTube. But also, it opened another question that was how to present myself on internet. And we'll see that this is also related to the media ecology and to the green thumbnails, but these, the strategy question, how to become famous on YouTube, are the blue thumbnails behind me. So at the end of each conference, we will have behind me appearing a screen like this one, where you can either decide to do nothing and just pass to the next conference, or you can decide to vote, because yes, we are in a democracy, and choose one of the 10 conferences. So now it's time to decide who's voting. Since we don't really have time to organize an election, I would ask 4 volunteers that would decide for the rest of the audience, but since we're not that much, the rest of the audience isn't that big. So I need 4 volunteers that would like to vote for the others. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, since you're just, I need still 1 more volunteer. You want to vote twice? No, but 3 is okay. We can do it with 3. And you're up 4, okay. Maybe, I'm sorry to say, but you're just behind the light. So maybe if you can move a little, because I can't see you, in fact. So I don't know, your vote won't be taken into account. So if you can go more in front of me, I think it's a little better. And this is... Okay, so you can show the voting system to the other members of the audience, like that we can see how you can vote after each conference. So you have these little panels, 1 to 10, you vote whenever you want, and, well, at the end of the conference, but whatever you want, sorry, and you will always have 15 seconds to do so. So if you don't vote, it will just pass to the next conference, but it's randomly put, so it's not, there's no narrative behind it. So as in each democracy, what happens in terms of equality, well, the speed will decide who has the priority, so you have to vote quickly if you really want to see a video. Is it clear for the voters? Yes? Okay, so that is the end for us of this first episode of the Grey Truth Summer School. I hope you appreciated this introduction. You will be able to see a lot of videos during the whole summer. So I hope you appreciated this video. If it's the case, please give me a like, leave a comment in the section below. And if it's not done yet, please subscribe to this channel, Grey Truth. And I'll see you next week with another episode of the Grey Truth Summer School. Okay, so somebody changed your mind, so I cancelled your vote, but then it was the vote of the person here. Oh no, you voted 7? Okay, so 7 wins. We have 2 7, 4 and 8. So the 2 7s, affective layer. Okay.